Well, I started American Collegiate Society for Adaptive Athletics in June of 2009 because I really had grown up with this passion for athletics, and I have four younger brothers who are very active in sports, and I'd watch them in their games, and I kind of struggled with the fact that I could never really participate. And then I did some research along with a couple of friends of mine who have disabilities and they're interested in sports, and we kind of figured out that once you get to the college level, there aren't very many opportunities within communities or within schools. And so I got a piece of advice in 2009. This guy said, forget what the rest of the world is doing, take your dream and run with it. So I started this nonprofit, and I had no idea what I was doing. And here I am 3 years later, and this is what I do.
So why do you think it's so important for people with disabilities to have an outlet in athletics?
I think that this is a change that we've sort of seen in our society, even from the promotional level even to the government, that people with disabilities need to be given equal opportunity at things that people in the everyday world have. And still in the athletics world, the opportunities are not quite the same. When you go to colleges, any of them that would have adapted athletics groups, or most of them, are clubs, and the ones that are competitive, their competitions against each other are so limited, and they're competing against other teams that are formed by cities and nonprofit groups. And so, our goal is to take the competitive teams and the club and intramural teams that are at colleges and universities and put them in tournaments against each other. So we're giving them the chance to be competitive, and we're giving them the chance to show the world how amazing this is.
One of the things that I've been told that athletics do increase in someone is their team spirit, so that kind of translates then into the business world. Or what are some other things that you think people will gain from being part of this program?
I think people will have so much self-confidence by the time that they participate in our events and they're done going through what we do with their school. And, because being on a team, participating in an activity and having fun and going in front of a crowd and having people cheer for you and making that basket or making that assist, it is a boost. It's a personal boost of self-confidence. And so I think that's one of the most important things for people in general, is to have self-confidence. And I think this is another way for people to gain that.
Now, you started this back in 2008, so people have been participating and competing since then, correct?
No. This tournament that's following in April of 2013 is the first college-level tournament that we're having. The last 3.5 years have all been research and talking to schools, trying to get funding for this type of idea from our community and from the national level.
Why are you so passionate about this?
I think because of the way it personally impacts me. Because of my disability, my family and I have been disability rights advocates our entire lives now. And it's something that we find very important because of how it affects me and how it affects the rest of us. And, this was another way when I would get upset at my brothers for being able to excel and the fact that I couldn't play. This was a way for me to sort of channel my anger and create something positive.
As if you're not busy enough, because you're a student yourself,
Yes.
You're involved in a number of activities.
Yes.
You were chosen for Boys Nation. I mean, there are all these things you're involved in.
Mm-hmm.
How did you find the time to take this on too?
I just made it. People say you can't make time. Well, you can. It's just a simple prioritizing. And, I also found that once I laid the groundwork for what I wanted to do, and I sat there and I figured out what I could do and what I could do really well. And then I sat there and figured out what else needed to be done, and I found people to do it. And so what's happened is we've built this team of people that have organized for us, and they've helped me quite a bit along the way in making all this happen.
You're starting into a capital campaign right now. How much money do you need to raise, and what are you going to use the money for?
We need to raise $100,000 by the end of October 2013. And the money is going to be used to fund 5 or 6 different tournaments for college students to play in. We're going to do the wheelchair basketball tournament in April in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Next November 2013, we'll follow another wheelchair basketball tournament in the Massachusetts area. Then in the winter and spring of 2014, there is a bocce challenge, a track and field meet, and a collegiate level exclusive Paralympic type event where we'll be offering multi-sport to many different schools, and they'll be able to play against each other. So that's what the money's going to, is to fund those events. And also to fund opportunities for us to present more conferences like the one we presented at this summer, so that we can get the word out about this idea and get more schools involved.
If somebody wants to get involved or they want to contribute to your capital campaign, what can they do?
Well, there are a lot of things you can do. One, I mean, the simplest thing is you can simply pull out your checkbook and mail something. And, you know, the other things you can do, you can send us an email and ask to be included in our fundraiser. We have a wheelchair basketball bash, catered dinner, and silent auction held at Collegiate every February. This year's February 23rd. And high school students, teachers, members of the community who are able-bodied will get into sport wheelchairs, play basketball all day long, and they gain a whole lot of perspective. It's so much fun. Their arms are exhausted by the time they get done with this because they don't realize how much muscle it takes. But then in the evening, we bring in the big guns and we throw a little party with a dinner and a silent auction. And this year we have Bonnie Bing, who's going to MC. And, you know, Bonnie is a local celebrity in her own right. And I'll be here to make a speech. We're going to have all the teams that are playing in the Indiana tournament are selecting members of their team to make a video for us. And they're going to talk about what this means to them, this opportunity. So that's all going to be broadcast at the fundraiser. That's another easy way people can get involved, is to come to that. You know, if they work for a company and their company has corporate philanthropy, they can talk to whoever it is at their company that runs corporate philanthropy and maybe get us in the door there. We'd be happy to go and talk to any company. I'm happy to meet with anybody who's interested in giving money face-to-face. I'll send you a letter. I'll send you an email. It's whatever you want to do. And the other thing that you can do is you can set up your own fundraiser. We're happy to have people run events for us, and it's as simple as maybe you and a group of your friends decide you're going to babysit, and your babysitting money for a month is devoted to us. Or maybe you have a birthday party, and in lieu of gifts, you ask for donations to us. You know, there are tons of ways, and we have a list that basically goes through the entire alphabet of ideas for people to help us fundraise. So you can do your own events too.